Admiral Vexthor stood on the bridge of the dreadnought Eternal Dominion, his four eyes gleaming with satisfaction as he surveyed the tactical display. 3,000 warships of the Kaldrith Empire formed a perfect sphere around the small blue planet the humans called Earth. It was beautiful, almost artistic, a cage of metal and plasma, inescapable and absolute. Pitiful creatures, Vexthor muttered, his mandibles clicking in amusement. They resist for 3 cycles, and now they cower behind their moon. The Kaldrith Empire had conquered 47 star systems over 2 centuries. They had crushed the crystalline Methodians, absorbed the gaseous Yulvari, and systematically dismantled the proud warrior clans of Drex's Prime. Earth would be no different. The humans had proven surprisingly stubborn, yes, but stubbornness meant nothing against overwhelming force. Admiral, his communications officer reported, the human fleet is requesting a parley. Vexthor's laughter echoed through the bridge. A parley? They have 12 ships left, 12, against 3,000. He gestured dismissively. Tell them we accept their surrender. Unconditional. They have 1 standard hour. What? Vexthor didn't know. What the entire Kaldrith Armada didn't know was that humanity's 12 remaining ships weren't retreating behind the moon. They were buying time. 300 meters beneath the Mariana Trench, in a facility that officially didn't exist, Dr. Sarah Chen stood before a console that humanity had hoped never to use. The Echo Array, entropic cascade harmonic oscillator, was humanity's final contingency. Not a weapon in the conventional sense, but something far more terrifying. All stations report ready, her assistant called out, voice trembling. Sarah's hands hovered over the activation sequence. She thought of her daughter in New Singapore, her brother in Cairo, her parents buried in Vancouver. She thought of 7 billion souls, depending on a theory that had never been tested at this scale. God forgive us, she whispered and pressed the sequence. Nothing happened. For exactly 4.7 seconds, nothing happened. Then the ocean above the facility began to hum. The sound was subsonic at first, a vibration that made teeth ache and bones resonate. The water itself started to oscillate at frequencies that shouldn't exist in nature, creating patterns that physicists had theorized but never observed. On the bridge of the Eternal Dominion, Vexthor was composing his victory message when every sensor simultaneously went dark. Report, he barked. Admiral, we're detecting... The sensor officer's voice cracked with confusion. We're detecting quantum fluctuations across the entire battle space. They're expanding exponentially. It's affecting our shield harmonics. The lights flickered, then died. Emergency systems kicked in, bathing the bridge in crimson light. Engine status? Vexthor demanded. Offline. All of them. Across the entire fleet. That was impossible. 3,000 independent reactor systems couldn't fail simultaneously. It violated every principle of probability, and the main view screen finally came back online, and Vexthor saw something that made his blood freeze in his veins. The Earth was surrounded by a sphere of visible distortion. Reality itself seemed to ripple and bend. The sphere was expanding slowly but inexorably, and where it touched Kaldrith ships, they simply unstopped. No explosions. No debris. The ships hung in space like insects in amber, their running lights frozen mid-blink, their weapons arrested mid-charge. What is this? Vexthor whispered. He would never get his answer. The sphere of temporal distortion, because that's what it was, though no Kaldrith scientist would ever get the chance to study it, expanded at precisely 47.3 kilometers per second. It touched each ship in the Armada with perfect mathematical precision. Inside each vessel, time slowed. Not stopped, that would have been merciful. Slowed to 1 second per standard year. The crews remained conscious, aware, trapped in moments that stretched toward eternity. A breath became a decade. A thought took a century to complete. The sphere continued expanding until it reached a radius of exactly 1 million kilometers from Earth's center, then stabilized. 3,000 ships floated in the void, seemingly intact but eternally silent. On Earth, Sarah Chen watched the reading stabilize and allowed herself one shuddering breath. The Echo Array had worked. Humanity had weaponized time itself, creating a defensive sphere that would last, according to their calculations, approximately 50,000 years before natural decay would free the trapped ships. By then, humanity would either be extinct or evolved beyond recognition, Either way, the Kuldrith Empire's armada would arrive home far too late to warn anyone. A communication came through from the 12 human ships that had survived beyond the effect radius. Captain Rodriguez's weathered face appeared on the screen. Dr. Chen, we're reading successful deployment. The armada is neutralized. Yes, Sarah said quietly. They're alive in there, Captain. All of them. They'll live out entire lifetimes between one heartbeat and the next. Rodriguez was silent for a moment. It's more merciful than they would have given us. Perhaps, Sarah said. Or perhaps it's worse. I don't know anymore. 3 weeks later, a Kuldrith scout ship arrived at the system's edge, seeking news of their armada's glorious conquest. Instead, they found a minefield of frozen time surrounding a blue planet, and a simple message broadcast on all frequencies in perfect Kuldrith. Turn back. Bear witness. Tell your empire, Earth is not for the taking. We do not conquer the stars, we do not seek your worlds or your resources. But neither will we kneel. This armada surrounds our world eternal, a monument to the price of aggression. Let it stand as our border, our warning, our promise. Leave us in peace or join your brothers in the long, silent dark between seconds. The scout ship turned and fled. The Kuldrith Empire never returned. In their history books, Earth became a forbidden system, a place where time itself had turned traitor. Other species heard the tale and learned the lesson. Humanity did not have the largest ships or the most advanced weapons, but they had something more dangerous: the absolute refusal to accept defeat, and the creativity to turn the universe itself into a weapon rather than surrender. Around Earth, the sphere remained, a graveyard and a guardian, where an empire's finest warriors served as humanity's unwilling sentinels, frozen in the moment before their triumph, trapped forever in the silence between heartbeats.